expectations. Let's get the box open and see what we got. Here we have a DJI FPV drone. I'm going to break all these components down. Looks like the same goggles. I believe there might be some differences, but visually speaking, they look the exact same. Ooh, okay, this is kind of slick. This is the DJI FPV drone controller. I do really like the form factor. It reminds me of some other radios that are on the market. And then besides that, we got some props. We have B props and A props. One thing that can be really complicated when it comes to drones is figuring out what prop goes where. So on this one, I can already tell they've labeled it out of the box. You have B and you have A. I want to hear it boot up. Whoa. Whoa! That was so cool. Looks like this is going to be our accessories. Looks like we have another pod. It looks like that's for the shell out here. So if you want to change the look of the shell. Looks like we got some cords. What I find interesting, and I was very curious, the FPV goggles usually power off of a LiPo battery. And it doesn't look like they've included a normal size LiPo battery. But they give you a cord. So this is actually really an awesome feature, because normally in the past you have to use a LiPo battery, which for anyone who flies drones, it's no problem. But it looks like now you can power your FPV goggles through one of these guys. So I kind of like not having to dedicate drone batteries. And here we have our FPV antennas. These screw onto the DJI goggles. This looks to be a USB to Type-C. These look like they are stick ends. They go on the side of the radio now. It looks like the radio comes with stick ends already. To put these on, they're really simple. They just screw on. So out of the box, it's got a flip-up antenna. Really, really nice for being able to transport your drone, because you want to fly with your antenna up like this. When you're transporting it, you can pop it in like that. This isn't a new idea or a new concept. There's some drone controllers on the market that already do this, but I'm very happy to see DJI following the trend and incorporating it. The gimbals, they feel pretty good. DJI's gimbals have always felt really good to me. I don't like how they don't have a lot of resolution. The more resolution you have, which is in theory the more control throw that you have, easier it's going to be to make small movements. When you have kind of like smaller gimbals, it can be really, really hard to fly smooth. FPV goggle wise, these goggles look the exact same as the first ones. I was really hoping to see a smaller version of the DJI goggles. I know a lot of people have been holding off on buying goggles because there's been rumors of a V2, and I personally have gotten used to the size of them, and I really love how beautiful the image in the screen is. So I don't really think about it anymore. However, it would be nice to see a more sleek goggle. I mean, they've shaved the controller size down, it looks like, so I would love to see this get smaller in the future. Finally, the drone, which I still don't know how to turn off. Looks like we have our FPV camera up here. I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty darn good camera. It may be upgraded from the previous one, considering it's all integrated. I'm assuming this camera is probably going to be pretty good. The motors look pretty good. They feel really good as well. They're not your standard drone motor. They're very DJI proprietary. The props snap into place, and it looks like that's pretty much the only way to do it. Besides that, it feels really rigid. It definitely feels heavy, so I'm very curious to see how this thing performs.
That was great, Alex. Good job. Now we're going to go fly with Jeff. Alright, so we're checking out some of the different flight modes that you have available here. This is your flight mode switch. In the top position, that's normal. Middle position is sport. And all the way down will be manual if you've done the things that you need to actually enable manual. So right now it actually is still in sport. So normal mode is pretty much like flying a Mavic. But you know what's different though? It does mixing. So as you're going forward and you give it yaw, it banks the turns.
Okay.
You see the banking happen. Yeah, you don't need to use the roll. Sport modes just makes it faster, and it enables cruise control. You get going fast, or whatever speed you want, you can kind of pick your speed. Hit this button here, this trigger, and now it's in cruise control mode, and it just keeps flying forward, and then I can just steer.
That's kind of
actually just with one stick, but really you should train steering with two sticks. And what I find really interesting, this really is somewhat of an acro trainer, because when you're flying a drone in acro mode, you tilt it forward, it just keeps going forward, and then when you roll and yaw, you carry your momentum around the turn and keep going forward.
You have to pull back to slow down.
Right. And
what happens if you do pull back? Does it?
It slows me down.
Okay, so you still have stick brake.
Yeah, you have a stick brake, but you also have a brake. So let's say I get going forward, and I get a little panicked. I'm like, oh crap! This trigger up here, hit that, and just whoop! Oh my god! Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Dude,
It slammed the brakes.
it slammed the brake so hard I saw the frame coming to camera view. Yeah, let me swap out the battery for you.
Oh, it's a little punchy.
Yeah.
Horizon's not flat.
Oh well, because you're flying in the wind, so it's actually
Oh, okay.
position holding.
It cooks? Oh, whoa, well, that is weird. That when you yaw, it bangs.
Right? Having done FPV for a while, it's like I almost don't like that. But I think it will really help people understand that when you turn, you need to bank it. I see a lot of people struggle with that when they're just starting FPV. Woo! Are you in normal mode?
Yeah.
You want to cook it in normal mode?
Yeah, it goes. It has augmented reality. There's an H where you land.
Yeah, that's your home point. Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty cool. Okay. I kind of like it. Oh, it slowed me down because I was close.
Oh, to the obstacle?
Yeah.
You want to try and run into something?
Slow it down a little bit, just in case, but I don't
Yeah,
think
don't
it's gonna
just
let me.
blast into it. Wait. Oh, I hear it beeping.
Yeah, it won't let me. I'm getting pretty damn close up. I don't know, I pulled back. Should I try?
It might let you do it. Like, it might be one of those things where it slows you down, but if you push forward, it'll let you do it. Now, don't try to hit it. Or at least if you're going to try and hit it, do
Well,
that's where I can see it.
yeah. I don't really want to, but it makes it obvious you're about to hit something. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna try sport mode.
There. So one down, there, one forward. Yeah, she's a little fast.
Oh yeah, she cooks!
Oh my-
Ah! This thing's really fast! And it is weird that you don't, it just like turbo boosts you, because you don't have to tilt. That's kind of cool. I kind of like
It's so
that.
counterintuitive. You're just like,
It was going faster the other way.
whoa!
The wind favors the other way.
If you're coming from a Mavic, this is going to feel
Like,
significant.
yeah, like insanely fast.
Just the sound. It's weird that it sounds like one of our drones, but then, like, if you brake, it does a Mavic move.
Yeah, I just hit the brake.
Oh,
Got an
you
E-brake,
push it.
that's so funny. Oh, I did turn the hump.
Yeah, but here, hit it again, and that'll let you stay there. Have you tried the cruise control yet?
No, that just works anytime, right?
Yeah, but you have to get. It is
That one.
this one. Yeah. So if you start hitting and then you hit it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you can just fly with one stick. That's all you need.
You're just doing it with one stick.
Yeah.
All right, fly through the awnings. Do it.
It's cruising. Cruise control. Just doing the yaw, that's it. And I'm slaloming. It's easy to do slaloms.
That was all with one stick.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is like definitely the best trainer mode ever. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you're comfortable with the speed, you can just get it going like really slow, just creeping along.
That's something I did not think I was gonna like, the cruising mode. When I was kind of reading through everything I have, I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't want to cruise. Like, you should fly it. But when you actually fly it, if you have any drone experience, it's weird how much your natural instincts start to creep in because
Yeah.
it starts to emulate the look of it, the way it
Right,
makes
but it
into
feels so weird because all you're doing is this.
But
it was a little weird for me. I was timid to drop down into a gap because it's a different. It's not like I'm chopping the throttle. I'm telling it I want to go lower.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, if you wanted to drop through a gap with one of our drones, you would also
Yeah, I could
pitch
pitch
forward,
the nose
look
down.
through it. Right. The camera is locked.
I wasn't confident it would drop down,
I mean, if you-
which it probably would.
If you want to get crazy, this dial actually changes the camera angle.
Oh yeah.
So you could be flying, look down, and do it like that. I don't know about that, though. It's kind of
I
wild.
want to play with that one.
Okay.
That is kind of cool to be able to change the camera for reveal shots. You gotta like think of it like.
Oh, you're thinking it's cinematic.
Yeah, that's what this would be good for.
Uh-huh.
It'd be good for cinematic FPV.
That's kind of what they want it to be, is like right in the middle. They want to take a Mavic and they want to take a pro grade FPV drone and find that sweet spot right in the middle. It's a very weird thing to find a hybrid for because they're so drastically different.
Yeah, I think because of the gimbal, that's why I like the cruise control. Because it is a little weird, like, you don't have that fine control.
Wait, what just happened?
I don't know.
I think
Low
it's returning
battery
home.
return
Oh, it's
home.
just low battery returning home.
Can I override it?
Yeah, you can just
She does not like coming down.
coming down flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, today is an interesting day to have done this because it stayed really stable despite the wind. So how are you landing? It just hold down altitude.
It's kind of easy to land, just land.
I'm surprised how much you enjoyed flying it, given that you're like a very seasoned pro FPV acro pilot.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna use it for what it is.
Right.
Just to like enjoy the novelty of, because I have a Mavic.
Mhm.
I don't use it a lot, but I've flown in it, and I always want it to be that.
It's pretty
Kind of cool, and the fact that I can just cheater mode. Like, I'm not that good at slaloms to begin with my quad.
Right.
I was almost doing better just because it's doing so much of the work for me.
Yeah. But ultimately, I think someone who has never flown a drone before could like work their way through it. Like, I think this has a really cool
Yeah,
way
you'll
to
be
like,
shooting gaps day one.
That's nuts.
I think.
The DJI drone is capable of flying in full acro manual mode, just like the freestyle drones that folks like me are used to flying. But DJI knows that this drone is also going to be bought by, like, your typical DJI pilot, and they don't want those guys getting in trouble right out of the gate. So they make you jump through a few hoops in order to enable full manual acro mode. And the first hoop is that this rocker switch here, which switches flight modes from normal to sport to manual mode, that manual mode switch is just sport mode. In order to change that, you need to go into the remote controller configuration in the goggles, go down to that custom setting, and change the custom setting from sport mode to manual mode. When you flip that switch into manual mode, the drone will not immediately start flying in acro mode. Rather, it will make you hold the throttle in a certain position, just a little bit below center, and it'll make you center the sticks. And the idea there is that they want you to switch into manual mode, acro mode, with the sticks in a position where the drone won't just like suddenly start flying to the moon. So they basically have you hold it in a hover position, more or less. Once you do that, then it'll switch into manual mode and you'll be flying in acro mode. But there is still one more safety precaution that you're going to want to turn off if you truly want to do freestyle flippy flops. You see, they ship the drone with an angle limit, and that means that if you go full stick deflection, say you go left roll or right roll, the drone will not actually do a loop. It will go to a certain point, stop, and not go any further. In order to disable that, you're going to go back into the controller config. You're going to go to the rates and expo section, and down at the bottom there is a toggle to turn off the angle limit. Once you do that, you will literally be flying in full acro mode. By the way, that's also where you can change the rates if you want to adjust the rates to match your normal freestyle rates, or to change the rates to make them faster or slower, depending on what you need from the flight characteristics of the drone.
So when you get it in full true manual mode, your throttle will turn into a normal throttle. So to get to the screws, you peel back this like grip cover. Changing the tightness of the F1 screw changes how much the throttle will keep in position, like how much friction there is. So it's pretty loose right now. So look, if I just shake the radio, we got a little floppy throttle. Let's tighten that up a little bit, and now the throttle stays where I put it. The F2 is spring. So by changing the tightness of F2, you change how much force there is recentering the stick. In certain modes where there's altitude hold, you want that stick centered because the throttle stick isn't actually a throttle stick, it's an altitude stick. But when we fly acrobatic drones, this is actually a throttle stick. So we just want no throttle, all throttle. And see, I've still got a little bit of spring there. We want to get rid of all that. So with an aerial platform drone, you start and stop the motors with stick commands, right? On our FPV drones, we use arm switches. So we need to put it in M for manual, And now, if you do a stick arm, it's still not going to be a manual. What you need to do is, instead of doing a stick arm, you need to use this start and stop button, and you double tap it. So tap, tap, and now it's armed. And then if you need to disarm, tap, tap.
It's got a little flutter.
It's so weird seeing a drone that looks like that fly like one of our drones. So did you just, well, that's it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. It's not the best tune, I can say that. It feels like a stock beta flight tune.
It's got some.
Is there any pin tuning available?
I'm going out of the water. It flies pretty good. I don't really feel like the latency or anything. I mean, definitely not the best flying drone I've ever flown, like, felt. I will say flight time, I think I'm looking at my battery and it says I got 58%, or it tells me how much time I have left, which is really awesome. So it's kind of estimating. So right now it says I got about 4 minutes left, which I'm ripping it. I have to fly the other DJI camera for comparison. I will say this camera, I like it a lot. I don't know what the latency is or anything, but it doesn't feel late. It looks better to me, but that could just be the lens, which I think is different on this. The colors look really good to me. As someone who would be getting into FPV, or getting into FPV drones, is perfect. Because this fly is just like a 5-inch quad. It feels heavy, because it is. It's about 800 grams. I looked at the manual. Power's really good though.
I'll be used to that. My quads are usually heavy.
This will feel very similar to you, to your quad, Drew. The flight time's great. I like to. I'm just gonna come into a hover. I'm gonna try this. Being able to adjust the camera. Okay, that is so cool. So I can adjust the camera tilt there. So if I was, let's say, for filming,
Is it preset or is it?
no, I can adjust it. But it's holding its angle, right? So here we go. I'm gonna hover, and now I'm raising the camera up to, and it tells you the angle as well while you're in acro. So let's say I'm doing let's say in theory, Drew, I'm doing a shot where I'm chasing an object. Let's say pretend it's a skier here, and I'm gonna try and go in front of the object. Well, with our normal drones, we can't adjust the camera tilt in the air. So like I get in front of him, I want to lower. Okay, this is sick. So I can lower my angle now and fly backwards. That is sick. That is the coolest thing on this so far. That just opens up so many doors.
So you can just you can be.
Here, watch. I'm gonna go I'll go gently backwards to this. So I have my camera tilt raised. Now I'm lowering it with my left thing. That is cool. That is cool because you can fly backwards now without the camera looking up at the sky.
That's so wild. So you could be like
Just
super low camera angle, doing some crickets backwards, and then whip it around, raise the camera way up, and do a matty flip.
That's honestly the coolest thing. I'm honestly really having fun with this. I was a bit pessimistic when I saw how heavy the drone was and everything, but it flies really good. I think there's going to be pilots in the FPV community who complain that it's like not the most well-tuned drone or the most powerful, but just from a person who enjoys flying freestyle and cruising, the features on this, it feels like a Mavic version of an FPV drone. And for anyone who's going to complain about latency, which I am that person who would complain about latency, the latency feels really good on it. I'm not saying it's race capable, but I'm not a wild fan about the controller. Like, I wish I had could fly with the other DJI radio, and maybe that's a possibility. I would prefer that. I've been flying this thing forever. How long have I been flying?
Go up in the air, flip upside down, and flip it into a position hold mode. Alright, so you're upside down.
Oh my gosh! It just saved it! It saved itself!
Amazing!
Oh, it says low battery, return to home. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Why not pretty bad?
It's right back in the battery.
It does a better job of landing than you do.
It does. It does way better. Okay, I'm gonna sound really biased saying this. I really like it. Would it be like my normal freestyle drone? I don't know. Maybe like
you would not use it to make this your normal freestyle.
Listen. I was able to fly around for what, 8 minutes at least, maybe more, ripping it around, cruising. The camera is definitely better, in my opinion, than the one that we normally fly, which is just the normal DJI FPV camera. So I love the camera on there. I was expecting a ton of latency. Didn't feel a ton of latency. I do love the OSD on this too. The OSD font's amazing. It tells you where home is. Having those features, like, listen, it's kind of would be a nuisance if you were just out flying freestyle a lot, I think. I did enjoy it a lot, and I would definitely keep it in my arsenal to fly. And I definitely have some people in mind who don't fly FPV typically who I would really love to fly this, because I feel like you could actually fly FPV very easily. So.
Sounds like a new person would really enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, this is perfect drone for a new person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound such a shill. I genuinely, this is perfect for a new person.
So I've been wanting to get my mom into the hobby, and she has basically no flying experience, and I'm going to teach her to fly with this
Do you
DJI.
think she's gonna be able to fly?
I think she will.
Oh no, I got it. I got this.
You got this.
Okay, I got this. Alright. Oh, I'm doing it.
And this is my mom, FPV Mama.
Hey.
And she's been super supportive of me flying my FPV drones. I've been wanting to get my mom into FPV so she can experience the awesomeness of it. I think that this DJI FPV drone is a perfect drone for her because there's a bunch of like beginner features and stuff.
Pitch. Okay,
And
now.
you see those leaves, right?
I see the leaves.
So go away from the leaves.
Okay.
Go away from
So
the
that
leaves.
means
Yeah.
I have to roll.
Yes, to move yourself away from it.
Okay, alright, I get it.
Now go forward.
Forward. Wait, I just forgot which way to. Okay, pitch is the right side.
Remember, your objective is
Oh
trying
my
to go
gosh.
around the trees.
Which trees? There's so
Any
many.
trees.
Okay.
Any trees.
Alright.
So like you can like so if you want to you can stay in one place. Don't do that. Don't
Oh,
try to
What?
go
Don't do
backwards.
that. Okay.
Turn
I'm not.
turn to where you can see where you're going.
Okay, alright.
Turn.
So I'm trying.
Yaw. Use your yaw to so you can see where
Yeah.
you're going.
Oh my gosh. This is awesome.
Always go forward.
I want to go this way and below that tree. I need to use pitch more.
Yes,
Somehow
you need to use pitch more.
Yes. I feel like I'm just okay. Alright.
So now try this.
Okay.
Now while you're going forward,
Okay.
now try to give it yaw and roll, and then you'll be
Yeah,
turning.
and roll in the same direction.
Yes, while you're
Okay.
turning, while you're going forward. So now you turn.
Oh my god!
You did
This is
first
like the
turn.
coolest thing ever! Oh my gosh. This is the best! Oh my gosh, Bubby! You should see what I just did! Oh my gosh, you would be so proud. Okay, stop. Watch. I'm gonna go through that gap.
Yes, that goes.
I'm going to the gap, Bubby style.
Go through that gap.
Okay, I'm going
When
to
you're
that
hitting this
gap.
gap, you're gonna make sure you're going straight through the
Oh
gap.
my gosh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Mom!
Ah!
Don't go up! Don't go up! Mom,
Okay,
disarm.
okay, disarm.
Disarm.
Okay. That was amazing!
You're gonna break the antenna! It's in the antenna!
That was awesome! I can't believe I just did that. That was amazing.
I like to say all the features are like a Mavic,
Yeah.
but like FPV, which is not good for my job of like being hired for very specific talents. I do think that it's obviously not the
I
same.
don't think this replaces talent. I think it makes it easier for people to build that talent, but ultimately, you have to know what you're doing.
I agree.
Because
I don't know
you're
how-
not going to get those shots in the assist modes. Like, to get true, like, really high-quality FPV shots, you need to fly in manual mode. And that's still going to take some practice. I know he makes it look easy.
I was backflipping, trying to go through the tree, and I hit the tree. So in one piece.
All 4 of the lights are working.
One prop's gone. These props are bent. Plastic is fine though.
Yeah, it's okay. Props. You know, we can deal with props.
It's kind of cool to like.
You'll take your hand.
It's kind of like a Tesla. Like it drives itself. You can put it in like track mode. This goggle batteries too low. Oh god. Oh god. Stop it.
Doing?
It's trying to fly home because I unplugged the goggles. Oh my god, look, it's got a spotlight. Guys, watch out. Oh my god, it's got a spotlight. Okay, so just a heads up. That's so cool. I unplugged the goggles because the goggle batteries get low.
Sick spotlight.
The spotlight is so sick.
It is awesome.
I love the spotlight. Okay, so just a heads up. Don't unplug the goggles while you're flying. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I figured it had position hold, and then I could just change my goggle battery real quick, but that upset it. So if you unplug the goggles, it takes that as a failsafe. So that's good to know.
Oh, the spotlight on the ground is so
Is the
awesome.
spotlight
Yeah.
still on?
Oh my god.
Alright, so check this out, John. Ready? Boom, purple.
Oh,
yeah, you can change it.
yes. Make it green. Make it green. It's got to be green.
Oh! You're for Sean! Yes! You're for
Fast
Sean!
and Furious. Oh, he wants to see blue.
Oh, they don't have one. Just kidding! I love that.
That's freaking cool.
That's freaking so
Yes.
cool.
So it's hoping you can change the color.
This is the best part of the drone so far.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait.
Forget about all the other stuff. The colors are the most important part.
Wait.
Oh, yes, you can make the
You
flowers
can-
color too.
That's so cool. You can turn those on and off. Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my god,
Look
it
at
is.
this. Doing things.
That is so cool. Alright, that's nuts.
Look at that. It does the thing. Like,
Oh my god,
that's so cool.
It's on me to think of stuff like the adjustable camera angle or whatever, and he's over here. So it's like,